I made a note.
Okay.
もう
まあ
整理さんこんにちは。Good evening. Today we'll have our second Science Salon for Kyushu University Connect. Science Salon is a series that we try to offer to introduce Kyushu University bilingually. 基本的に今日のサイエンスサロン、九州 U コネクトのサイエンスサロンの第2回なんですけれども、バイリングルで行います。目標としては、 九州大学の、魅力的な力見せる、紹介する。So the point is really to introduce what we do at Kyushu University and to do so in a way that can be interesting for a wide audience as much as possible. And so today our second session will be with Professor Mako Nakamura. 今日の第2回のサイエンスサロンは、中村真子先生と一緒です。So, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me to the salon.
Yeah, great. Yeah. And so basically as a topic, today's title is if I have it correct, student navigation app for muscle and meat science.
Yes, that's right.
And, so muscle and meat science, that's your field.
Yes, that's my research field.
日本で何て言うんですか？
筋肉と食肉科学で言います。
Is great.
Right. So when we look at the body, it's called muscle. But
Right.
if we look at the same thing as a food, it becomes meat.
I see. Okay, so the word just changes depending on the perspective, depending on the. Okay.
That's true.
So one of the important reasons that we invited Nakamura Sensei today is that in many ways, I think Nakamura Sensei's work touches on several important points for Kyushu University. And so 中村先生の、研究と教育といくつの活動は非常に、大事な、貴重な、活動なので、これは本当九州大学のイメージだと思います。そのことについて話したいと思います。So there are several things that we want to talk about today. So about your research, about your educational efforts, but also about your life and career at Kyushu University, and ultimately your relationship to students, and how you are a navigation app for students, because the student navigation app, that's you. Right?
I hope, yes, that's my goal.
Exactly. So I want to start with the first kind of topic. And so one of the things that we're trying to do always in this series as well is to introduce the vision of Kyushu University. So
総合知ね。
Yes. そこは、基本的にいつもその九州大学のビジョン、紹介される。実はビジョン2030なんですけれども、and in a slogan in English, that becomes driving social change with integrative knowledge. Soいつも日本語では忘れちゃうんですけれども、基本的に大事な言葉は総合知、あと社会連携。その総合知、in English we say integrative knowledge. And I think
what we did.
Exactly.
For the proposal.
Yes. Yeah. So I wonder, can you tell us a little bit what you think is your idea of what might be 総合知 or what might be integrative knowledge? So like your idea.
Right. So I was always interested in animal development and animal-related research. So that's why I'm working on the muscle, skeletal and smooth muscle especially. But using the animal is always bring the issues all over the world. There are social issues, but as a researcher, it was difficult to look at because we believe that we are doing something good for the society. But we realized that there are people who are against using the animal model, and which is really understandable. And your research is standing that point.
Exactly.
Right.
もう最初からもうこうその倫理的な話になっちゃったんですけど、でも確かに大事だと思います。そこはそのwhat's that? The meat and muscle science、やっぱり動物使うことなんですね。そこはso we are using animals and at the same time we want to do that responsibly.
Yes.
And trying to think about society, trying to think about maybe also SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals.
That's true.
But before we get there, can I ask you a little bit, how did you get into animal science? So you said animal development.
I
日本語で何でしたっけ? Animal development.
動物発生学。
Yeah. So that was your first study.
Yes, in animal and tissue development too. So I like biology, and biology has so many fields, but the final choice for me was plant science or animal science.
Okay.
But I wasn't good at taking care of plant at all.
How
I
come?
forget
It's just
watering.
add water.
That's difficult. That's difficult. So I killed them so easily. I pour the water too much. I
see.
forgot about it for weeks. Or
Yes. Plants
like-
are sensitive.
for
Yes.
me, it was easier to handle with something moving or making noise.
Okay. Yes.
So that
come?
reminds me to feed them or take care of them.
I see. Yeah.
So animal was my choice for the
Okay.
research.
And so you started doing what kind of animal research did you do in the beginning?
I do the chicken model.
Okay.
I like to eat chicken, although I like other animal. I
Right.
mean the
Yes.
meat. But chicken model, it was easy for me to handle in the lab.
Right.
So the swine or cattle, I have to go to the farm. And although I have driver's license, I'm not good at driving. People shouldn't let me drive. Well, I can do if I need it, but
Yes.
if I can do it inside of the laboratory, that was more convenient for me, and I don't forget on top of it.
そう、ある意味で、その鶏との研究は最初から、なんかプラクティカルの、考え方で始まったんですね。
Well, actually, when I was a PhD program, I used chicken model, chicken embryo, but that was the aim of the research was to apply to the medical field because I was in basic medical science.
Right.
But once I got at Kyushu University, Faculty of Agriculture, my research aim became more towards food or agriculture related.
Right.
So one way is raising the livestock. That's one way that I can apply my knowledge to agricultural field. But my research topic was muscle, luckily. So I like to eat food.
Right. Yes.
That attracted me more. That's why I was more interested in the particular organ or tissue, which is muscle, and make that muscle develop more wisely or more sustainably.
I see. So it's really about how to produce the meat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how to produce the meat in a sustainable and efficient way. So that's まあ日本語で言うの今の話は簡単に日本語で
言うと、食肉生産を効率的に効果的にもっと一つの家畜から取れる食肉量を増やしたりとか、それから畜産副生物って言われるようなバイプロダクト、内臓にある平滑菌ももっと食べれるんじゃないか、もっと何か栄養的な人間にとっていいものがあればもっと消費できるんじゃないか。
Yeah, that's really very important.
Yeah.
So reduce the waste,
reduce
less waste, better efficiency, and in general, sort of hitting several of the points of the sustainable development goals.
Right.
So that's also where we're actually trying to collaborate a little bit because if I can connect to that, there is a famous concept actually coming from animal science and animal behavioral science, which is the 3 R's. 多分日本語でも結構、言われると思いますけど、その動物科学、動物その行動科学から来た、概念だと思いますけれども、その3つの R、so 3 R's、so replacement、reduction and refinement。And so 簡単に言うとは、動物使うときもなるべく少なくSo try to avoid, try to minimize. And so in a sense, what you're doing connects to that as well, right? Because you're looking at reduction and refinement because you're using, you produce more meat with fewer animals and do so in a more refined way, better care.
Right.
Yeah. そこはやっぱりそこビジョン2030の2つのポイントだと思います。そこはまずそれは総合知と言えると思いますけど、so it is applying the science of meat and muscle to food production in a sustainable way or a better, efficient way.
With having social.
Exactly. So the driving social change with this integrative knowledge. And I think also in that sense, it actually comes from one of the 3 pillars that Kyushu University has identified.
Yes.
I think so. We will have different introductions, but one of them is food science. And so
and environment.
Yes, food science and environment. Yeah. Great. That's great. Yes. No, I think this idea of basically trying to integrate knowledge then becomes almost something of trying to make connections, I think.
Yeah, Then that can link to the new technology as well. People are interested in cultured meat.
Right.
So that's one of the topics that I'm interested in too. How to grow the meat on the plate.
Yes. Have you tried that? Have you tried it?
Kind of, because I already start culturing the meat baby cell of the meat.
Okay.
So I want to call them as meat seed cell. So the seed can become not only the muscle, but also the fat to give flavor or connective tissues. Yeah, if I can make that kind of seeds, identify the seed cell, that can be sent to the places where they don't have enough land to raise animal, they can grow them in the incubator.
That's interesting. So you mentioned flavor, and so you said you need some amount of fat to give the proper flavor.
Yeah. We can tell from like yakitori restaurant.
Sure.
The smell.
That's true. 今の日本語で言えば、そうやっぱりそのファット、日本語で何でしたっけ？脂肪も大事。そうそこからフ
レーバーが。
Yeah, flavor. So
when you grill something, you can tell. That's the fat part.
Okay, that's great. So now, so how can I imagine your lab? What does your lab look like? What happens in your lab?
It's well, actually, if you look at the Kyudai cohort just published.
Okay.
That's my lab member.
Right. Yes.
They are really excellent.
So you have several students working with you in the lab, and they grow meat in the lab?
They grow chicken in the lab, I would say. They incubate the egg in the lab.
Okay, right.
And they take the tissue and identify that how mature they are, or how to make them mature, or what kind of gene involved for.
So, but I'm trying to digest. So they grow eggs.
They grow eggs.
And they take tissue out of the eggs, and they try to.
I mean embryo. Not the egg means egg yolk, right?
Yeah,
Everybody think about the yellow part, but actually there is an embryo which become chick when they hatch. Okay. So I want to know what kind of path the cell follows to become muscle.
I see. So this is really about cellular development. Yeah. 今の話は日本語で。
今の話日本語で。だから卵、有精卵、the fertilized egg is in the incubator for a couple of days to a few weeks. ごめんなさい。有精卵を何日かから何週間インキュベーターで育てて、そこからまだ生まれる前のひよこ、胚と呼ばれるエンブリオを取ってきて、そこから筋肉の臓器を取って、細胞がどれぐらい成長しているか、調べています。どうやって成長していくのか。
なんか道みたいな。どうやってなんですか？
Well, one way is just you crack the egg every day, same time. And I also tried culturing egg without shell.
Oh, yeah. Does it work?
So far, yes.
Oh, wow.
So, Kyoso students started.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, we'll talk more about students in a minute, I think.
So we incubate the egg at 55 hours. That's minimum in the shell. Then crack it. So do you know the plastic cup that you use for like a barbecue or?
Sure.
Yeah. And we put wrap inside and put the egg and chase them.
Chase them?
In the incubator. So you can see the heart beating.
I see.
Then put in the incubator. Check the next day. You can see the embryo become bigger.
Right. Huh.
And usually the lots of vascular development all over the egg and So you don't have to.
Sounds fascinating.
Yeah, that's fun.
So what does the day-to-day activity look like for a student in the lab? So 例えば一日の活動、学生から見るとその研究室での活動。
It depends. So like if you have to pick the sample like every certain hours, they have to come early or they have to come weekend, they have to come. But if you have sample to like DNA, they are not alive, right? So it's easier. You put them in the freezer, you thaw them and do whatever PCR or DNA work and check the data. You put them back in the freezer, you can go home.
It sounds fascinating. So you said you tried to see how the cells develop into muscle, and you're just trying to understand the basic mechanisms, or are you trying to influence that?
It's both. Actually, when the muscle develops, like smooth muscle in the digestive organ or the skeletal muscle, they don't develop by themselves. They always interact with other organs, like stomach interact with liver or pancreas, or they talk each other.
I see. And so this is basically a complex system.
They do総合知 in the body.
ダジャレみたいな感じ。They do 総合知 inside
in the body. They are different organs, but they communicate each other.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so this 今のお話、その細胞と細胞の間のコミュニケーション。
Right. Otherwise, one organ is bigger than expected, and there are no space for the others. Right? They interact each other.
So interact or maybe ちょっと競争的な。
Or inhibit.
Yeah, right.
So that they have to keep the proper size.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have big heart and you have really small stomach. That's not happening. So they communicate with each other.
I see.
And let them grow or let them stop.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fascinating. So I think maybe we can start talking a little bit about, your role as a teacher. We'll come back to that more. But so as a teacher, you are involved in several really interesting projects, I think, at Kyushu University. So 今までの話、ちょっと研究の話でしたんですけれども、教育の観点から見るとも、先生も、3つ、4つぐらいの、本当に面白い、興味深いの、プログラムに、参加してます。参加するより、リードしてます。だと思います。
Thank you.
And so one is so several of the programs that you're involved in or leading actually. One of them is the IUPE.
Yeah. The G30 one.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes.
What is the IUP?
IUP is International Undergraduate Program, which was led by G30 project funded from MEXT.
Right.
And Faculty of Engineering and Faculty of Agriculture, we started.
Yes, because you, of course, belong to agriculture.
Right. So when G30 was funded, the proposal said that we open the international course at graduate level or the faculty. But it was still almost impossible to start teaching subject in English in undergrad.
Right.
because it's fundamental study.
Yes, yeah.
But the engineering and agriculture already have international course at master and PhD program. So they thought that we can try building the new course.
And that was 12, 13 years ago?
Yeah, 2009 or 10.
Then, yeah.
Yeah.
So IUP というの、特徴のは、そこまで、大学院レベルで、国際的に英語でのプログラムありましたけれども、そう学部生レベルでまだなかったんで、今度は、それは2009年からのスタートだったと思いますけれども、そこは、英語だけで。Yes, that was amazing. And so you were involved, so you were teaching in English.
Right. Well, actually, I was one of the faculty who designed the IUP.
Wow, yeah.
Right.
That's
And
amazing.
also we did so many promotion trips in Asian country. We joined the fair because nobody knew.
Yeah, it's a new program. I have to introduce it. Yeah,
and also admission process.
Yes.
And then we try to recruit high school students to the IUP program.
And from
many
countries like Thailand, Indonesia.
Right.
And so, yeah.
And we thought that we do the interview on campus. But when we tried doing that, the headquarters said that candidates are not yet Kyushu University students. So they cannot support visa, just enter to get the examination.
Right.
So things get more complicated because we don't invite students to the campus. Then what we did was we go their country.
Entrance examination.
Even
overseas.
There is only just one applicant.
You have to go.
we travel all the way to many countries and get the room for exam and we wait.
それすごいですね。結構エフォー必要だったんですね。
Right. We sometimes stay less than 24 hours, then travel to the next country.
So there's really a very big, strong investment in internationalizing the education programs. You started.
So then one day we did examination for the applicant, and next day we stopped by a couple of high school to promote.
To introduce the program.
Right. It was busy years. Yeah.
And now, having been doing this for more than 10 years, how do you feel about the program? Do you get good students?
Yes. So when we start traveling for promotion, it was so shocking that nobody knew Kyushu University.
Right.
Where Kyushu?
Kyushu, yes.
We are in Fukuoka.
Yes.
Then they said, so you should change your university name to Fukuoka University. That will be more recognized.
Yes.
It was really shocking because in Japan, somehow people know.
Of course, it's one of the big 7 national universities. But
we were kind of proud of our university. But once you are outside of the country, we are.
I know the feeling because sometimes I say, if I go back to Europe or New Zealand, Australia, and I say, I live in Kyushu, I work at Kyushu University, then sometimes people just don't know the word Kyushu. And so Hokkaido, for instance, as a name is more familiar.
That's why these activities really good.
We have to do
outreach,
more. Yes. But so in the beginning, people didn't know the program, but gradually you were getting students.
But you can tell from the number of applicants. Year by year, it was increased.
Getting up, yeah, that's the best evidence that you get a good program. Word of mouth gets out, and そこからやっぱりもっと人気になるの、だんだんの人気ということはやっぱりいいプログラムですから、そこは
はい。育てました。
That's great. And so I think some of the people coming out of that program are now like researchers, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's also amazing.
Right.
So
育てました。
And so, but you're also involved in more programs, right? So because I think the IUP, その IUP だけではないんですね。So 今、
競争もね。
教祖も、あと、その、
graduate program.
graduate program、でも最初、考えたのは、その、National, Northern Arizona University.
That's true.
So you have a unique
Yes.
double degree program.
Yeah, that was.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So
Is it also connected to IUP or is it
course.
different? Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. Yes.
So IUP is IUP has student. We rate student from the first year to the fourth year.
Yes.
But
it's a full bachelor's program.
Right.
Yeah.
But now we have double degree program with Northern Arizona University. So you can stay your third year in America, Northern Arizona University, study and bring about 30 credit back to Kyushu. And fourth year, you do the bachelor thesis research.
Yeah.
And once you succeeded to graduate, you can also get a degree from NAU.
From both places. So there's 北アリゾナ大学
Yeah, 北アリゾナ大学。
九州大学の2つディグリ
Right. It's bilateral.
Yes.
So their side, they have 5 years of bachelor program.
Okay.
So they start studying for Kyushu online on their third year, and also do their lab rotation online to find out which lab they want to do the bachelor thesis research. And fourth year, they travel to Japan, then stay there for 1 year and do bachelor thesis project together with.
Yes.
Right.
And so you have had students from Arizona in your lab?
We are going to have it this October.
Okay. Yeah, amazing.
Yes,
that's good.
It is.
Yes. Yeah, so that means your education is, literally internationalizing.
Yeah.
And so not only are we getting international students to come to Kyushu University, you also have the double degree program that is direct collaboration with another institution overseas. And I think the other project, Kyosou Gakubu, the School of Interdisciplinary Science and Innovation, also works very much internationally.
That's right.
もう一つのプロジェクトとしては、競争学部。そこも、割と、国際的なアプローチで留学生と日本人学生、クラッシェアで、そう一緒に、クラス受けます。
Yeah. That's how. Once we started 競争学部, we talked more often, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right,
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, because we're colleagues at Kyosou Gakubu. I'm also involved in the School of Interdisciplinary Science and Innovation. And so here, maybe as a little bit of background, the School of Interdisciplinary Science and Innovation is really sort of an international oriented and at the same time interdisciplinary oriented school where the education is more issue based. And so 概念としてはもっと課題ベース、その社会問題に、を対応することを目指す。そこは、学際的に、interdisciplinary、またその総合知。Yeah. So have you worked with students from Kyosou Gakubu as well?
Yes. They are really hard workers.
Hard workers.
I like them a lot. Because when they start thinking about their DP, degree project,
the degree project is like Sotsuron.
Yeah. So they have multiple choices. And when they choose social science, they don't have to come to the lab every day, every weekend. They could have that choice. But they chose me. And they know that they have to come every day. They are in the lab bench all over the time, but they want to do it. So they are committed to do it.
That's true. I think one of the teachers in our program, I think Onumaru Sensei, he always says, Kyosou Gakubu equal Shindoi Gakubu. In the sense that it's really only for people who are very motivated to take charge of their own studies. And so
students who chose me are willing to shindoi.
Do the extra work. But that's good, I think. But it's also, I think, because they have the opportunity to do interesting work, because your lab gives them the chance to really do something relating to SDGs.
That's a nice part of Kyosou Gakubu. So Nogakubu also give them lab work, of course,
Right. Yes.
but they have to do it. There is no way to escape.
Right. It's kind of set.
Set.
Yeah.
Once they get in 農学部, of course you want to do bench work or do field work. But when they are taking the exam, they are still 18 years old, so
Right.
they didn't know much about themselves. But, not many, but once every few years, we meet students who are not interested in doing research in this field.
Right.
But they have to do it. So it looks hard for them.
Yeah,
but
some of
Kyoso
the-
students on their third year, they have chance to think what they want
They
to.
can choose. Yeah.
So that's good. That I can say that's their decision
Right.
to join my laboratory,
Yes.
and they are motivated.
Right.
It's easy to work with, and it's nice to talk with them that what they want to do after graduate. So because they are already committed to join my lab.
Yeah. No, I think that's so important.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right,
Yes.
right. I like to work with students who are motivated and want to know
Yes,
something
yeah.
and share the interest with me.
Well, I think it works both ways, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have an interesting project and you feel you're really working towards innovating something that matters, then that's where the motivation comes from. So やっぱりそのインセンティブとかモチベーションは確かに大事だと思いますけども、それはテーマから生まれてくるのと思いますね。そこはそのsocial driving social change 社会に何か役に立つこと自分の力で考えれるんであれば、あと真子先生の知見室にで実際にそういう研究行うことできるので、行きたくなると思います。
And I keep telling the student, don't feel guilty to take a break or be absent. I also say that don't give up anything that you wanted. So they want to do 部活?
Yes.
They want to do アルバイト? They want to do 旅行? They want to hang out with friends? They don't have to give up that because of doing the experiment.
That's actually true because, in a sense, if you think, from 18 to 22 is such an important stage of development, not only in the chickens but in the students, and so that's where they, become more independent and maybe have to deal with things like how to manage their time. そこ確かに。
So we do every week lab meeting to catch up in what they have done in my office and what they want to do by the next week. So they come and explain what they did, and they usually do more than what we talked. So, but they don't give up other things. So they are really good at time management.
Yes, yeah, that's so important, and I think. If you give them the opportunity to actually control that themselves, that they will better know.
They always surprise me.
Yeah.
これもやったの?
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
So I like to.
I think I want to come back to the student navigation idea a little bit later again, but first I want to ask a little bit more about, because I think one of the other things that is also a good example in your case is that how you made your career at Kyushu University. So もう一つのポイントはやっぱりその九州大学でのキャリアのちょっとその話したいと思いますけど、今もう教授なんですから、そこは教授やっぱり大事、やっぱりそこはその九州大学でなるべくdiversity、あとhave female leaders も目指したいなので、そこはI think you're an example. So can you tell us a little bit about? So I think there's a program that you've participated in.
Right. So I joined the Sentankyu program, which is the program running 5 years ago. I think I'm the first lot. So there are 6 years of program.
先端級何でしたっけ、その意味はわかんない。 it's just the name of the program, right?
Right.
I think
Q must be Kyushu.
Kyushu for sure. Yes, I think it's like
Center means cutting edge.
cutting edge. Yeah, sort of a leadership trainer program. I think yes.
So all the female faculty and male faculty who are under 37 are eligible to apply.
So they have to apply and they say, I want to be a leader. I want to, do the next step. And then you get a training program.
So we did presentation in front of the committee member, including the president.
Okay.
And then my year, so my, we called for the first document screening and call for interview. And this interview was done December, very end of the year, 2019. And then we are selected, and there was a kickoff meeting on 2020 January. Then COVID. So we are the only batch that did interview in front of the
live interview.
Right. I think from the second batch they did the online.
Yeah.
I was so nervous.
And so once you get into the program, what happens? What kind of steps do you have?
So there are step 1 to step 6, but we take seminar to run governance, and you make report. And then the first year you kind of mentor or supervise international student on campus with your mentor outside of the country. So they
overseas partner.
Right. And once you pass that, we did running activity supervised by faculty member on campus. I chose you.
You took one of my courses. Yes, you took
bioethics. Yes.
Yeah.
And write report, and then doing the research oversee. But my year, that was online.
Okay.
I think that they start traveling again, like second or third.
Yeah, maybe. Yes. And so you had an overseas research partner?
Yes.
How did you find the?
That was my boss when I was a postdoc in the States.
Oh, that's right. You before coming to Kyudai, you had done a postdoctoral
training in the United States.
So 九州大学来る前にもう
アメリカで5年間ポスドクして。
研究者として働いてたんです。
So my boss in the US was quite young. He started his lab when he was 30 something. 30代半ば, mid-30s. So
Where in the United States?
The University of Massachusetts at that time. Then he moved to University of Colorado.
Yes.
Currently. But I moved to United States in 2003. So it's been 20 years.
Yes.
And he's still a PI, working as a PI.
And so you were working in his lab?
Yes.
For 5 years in...
Well, actually 3.5. My first postdoc was Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
And moved
first
to
Philadelphia
Massachusetts.
And then Massachusetts.
Yeah, then 3.5 years I was working animal development, how to do technique. Then I got a job at Kyushu. And so after I moved back to Japan in 2007, we contacted once in a while, every couple of years, when I wrote grant and wanted to put his name as a collaborator or something. Yeah. Or when they wrap up my project.
So he was always kind of advisor.
Yeah, he was always nice.
そういうやっぱりその国際的なコネクションは非常に大事だと思います。そこももともとからもうずっと博士取った後すぐ研究者としてアメリカで働いてて、そこはやっぱりそのマインドセットは完全に国際
かな。
違いますか？
そうかもしれない。But I was so happy that when I asked him to be my mentor and write recommendation for this center in Q, he didn't ask detail. He just replied, "Of course."
Okay. That's good. Yeah, but that's based on trust,
right?
There's no,
Of course.
I don't. If Mako Sensei, then it'll be okay.
What can I do for you? He was like that always.
That's good.
And that didn't change.
So I wonder, like even before, like how did you first decide to go work in the United States?
Okay. So when I got in master first year student, I joined the internship program for 2 months at Procter & Gamble company in Ohio.
Right.
And then when I was a master student, female ratio was so low, especially in the science area. Then when I joined the internship in the United States, there are so many female people in research, and I felt quite comfortable working there. And then, so the lab that I was in was called Kombini, because the light is always on.
Right.
Always somebody is in the lab working, doing the experiment.
Yes.
But life in the States, they go home like 4 p.m. because they have to pick the kids up.
Sure.
They have dinner together at home. They keep life.
They manage the social and family life.
And
I think that's really good experience that you had.
And I met so many like strong women. They freely say their opinion in public. I don't think so.
That's so important.
That's so important.
They became your role models. And now you're bringing that to Kyushu University. That's great. Yeah, I think it's amazing. Absolutely important. Yes.
I often say that's ridiculous.
No, but it's それは方針だと思います。
大事。自分の意見を言っていい。
そこは安心で、評価される。So appreciated. And that それは大事だと思います。So we have to have an environment that creates that.
Yes. Well, I always say my opinion, and I don't forget to ask, what do you think about it?
Yes, and it's always that's also 総合知 to exchange opinion. Yes, no, that's great.
Because I'm always curious what people think about the issue that I bring.
I think so. I think Sentan-Kyo is one of the programs that allowed you to do that. But I think what I find amazing is also that in your teaching and in your work as a researcher and as a leader at Kyushu University, you also connect in many different ways. Another example is the QFCSP, right? That's for high school students.
Yes.
QFCSP. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I even have the picture of Kyudai Koho that my supervised student is
your
now
student,
Kyoso Gakubu. So the QFCSP is the program where they give opportunity to high school students to work in the lab. It's highly competitive, especially this bio and life.
You're in the bio and life section.
Bio, right.
Which is like life and life. Anyway.
Right. Maybe I missed.
No, it's true. I told them that before. So the bio and life, it's life. That's bio and bio. But
life and life.
Yes. But so high school students can apply to be part of the program, and then you teach them.
Yes. So first half year, they take courses.
Okay.
Live course or
in
on
the
demand.
Weekend. 週末。
週末。
またしんどいプログラム。
しんどい。I'm willing to join しんどい ones. And then after half years, they ask you if you want to keep going for research. And if the kids, high school kids, 高校生 apply.
研究する。
So
教授の
right. So the number of the professor means that number of the lab that they can choose.
Right.
So then we interview a couple of them, then usually choose one student per year.
Yeah.
So I have taken 3 students so far.
Wow.
And they are so excellent.
Yes.
They are
and it's great that you can take them to Kyudai and Kyoso Gakubu later.
Right.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They became interested in studying at Kyushu University.
Yes.
And I hope that during the research in my lab, was the one of the reasons.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yes, of course.
And somehow all three students are female students, although there are male students
Also,
as well.
yeah.
So coincidentally all are female. And
Sure.
I feel really honored that they chose me.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So that, I think it's safe to say you're really the student navigation app, right?
Right.
So from high school student to your undergraduate student to graduate student, and then what is your approach? What is your philosophy? So my student navigation app としての your philosophy, your 哲学.
That's a very important one.
Yes.
So I want to navigate the student, like a car navigation. So they want to be something, like they are interested in something, that's the goal.
Yeah.
But I live 20, 30 years longer than them. So I know how to get there.
Yes.
But there is only one option. There are 5 ways to reach the goal. So I really want to advise this 5 route. But I have to be quiet until they become ready. That means that once they activate the app, because they are not ready yet when they hit the app. So I have to be quiet, observing that what they are interested in or what they want to do. Then once they ask me, not sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly, once they activate, I can show you the 5 routes. That you are more interested in going this way than going this way. You want to do exchange program abroad, then coming back to research. They want to do internship in the company, then they want to find a job right after that. Or you want to do the bukatsu activity, you want to play sports, then coming back to that. That's fine. Everybody, all the routes reach the goal that you want to be. But I can show you 5 routes. And sometimes the kids say, yes. But sometimes, somehow they don't want to take any of them. Then they find a new way.
Invent another one.
But okay, that's from the goals. So I calculated still the new route to reach the goal that are the same. It's like car navigation. If you didn't choose the way that they suggested, they still give you the advice to.
Right.
I want a student to think about me, or think that I'm useful for them.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. So it's basically saying like you're not telling them what to do. You're waiting. You know there's something you want to tell, but you wait until they're ready.
Right.
Until they ask you.
Right.
Until they.
Right.
Say,
but you should also ask my student in the lab if I'm patient enough. Maybe I already.
Yeah. No, I think for sure you get it there. This. No, I think usually we aim for 40 minutes conversation, but we're already hitting 50. So I think
I didn't realize that.
No, it's great. So are there any final thoughts you want to mention? 最後のところ何か？
最後のところ？I want to create the Ito campus to the platform for meat and muscle science that we do the research, we educate the student, but we have so many overseas partners. So we can exchange students, we do inbound or outbound program to give them opportunity to know about us. And we also want to send students to learn what they want to do on the campus. Then I want to create the environment.
That's great. That's really like a hub, both local and international.
Right. Sogochi.
Global Sogochi. Good.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah. And I want to push students to study overseas before they graduate.
Yeah, that's so enriching, and you're a great example of that, really. So I want to say thank you very much, Mako Sensei, for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed our session today. We'll have more science salons. We're aiming to do 4 of these science salons a year, and so another one will come up in November, I think. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's